In this video, I will show how to add a free choice delivery to a pen in AgResult. Alright, so let's get into it. First, I want to describe the term free choice delivery and what that means. It simply means that animals can consume a commodity at their free choice. So there really is no clear-cut length of time that this commodity is going to last in a pen when you first add it to a pen. The prime examples are salt blocks or straw for bedding. So the example for a salt block is if you would add a salt block on a Monday and that lasts until, let's say, Saturday, the start date of that would be Monday's date and the end date would be Saturday's date. The example for straw is whenever you add bedding to a pen, you would simply say the start date or the day that you added bedding, and as you watch that pen, you need to choose that end date of whenever that straw is, let's say, gone. You could also do back-to-back straw beddings if you keep after it, and the result of that, you're going to have two free choice deliveries in the system. The first one obviously is going to have a start date of the first time you added bedding, and that end date would be whenever your next straw bedding was added. So, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it and I'll show you a little bit what this looks like. So starting, we are looking at a pen. Free choice delivery, data entry all happens from a pen. So you simply go to the pen you want to add, let's say a salt block to, and you go from there. So we're looking at a pen, but if you didn't know, you go down here over here to pens on the left. From your list of pens, we're going to use pen 2. So this is where we were to start. There's a new tab called Free Choice Delivery and a blue button that says Create Delivery. This table below has no data because we have nothing entered in, but we're going to do that now. So in the example of a salt block, let's say today's the 14th, and we don't know the end date yet, but let's pretend we're going to push it out to the 27th, which is in the future. And let's say we choose our salt block. And this is a 20-pound salt block, and we create. So right away you're going to see here a number of things in this row. The status of it is pending. The description of that reads below that it's pending completion of the specified end date. So we chose the 27th of January. So at this point in time, right now, as I look at this, this commodity has been adjusted out of inventory. So your 20 pounds is gone from inventory or decremented if you keep track of that. However, the weight and the costs of this 20 pound is not yet distributed to the lots. This should be self-explanatory, but the reason it can't be distributed yet is because we don't know what exactly was in this pen throughout that duration between the start and the end date. So this status will change once the end date is met. The system will automatically do this every day. It evaluates if there's any free choice deliveries that are completed, and it will complete them, and at that point in time it will apply the weight of 20 pounds in this example and the costs of that equally to all of the lots, all of the heads that were in this pen for each day. So that'll all kind of automatically just happen for you in this example where we future dated an end date. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're able to edit these, which is the important piece. Let's say it's in the future now and we wanted to know exactly when the date this salt block actually finished on the 16th. Let's say we can save, and it's still pending, but you can see now the end date's changed. So let's pretend that we are going to change this to something in the past so we can see it move to a completed status. So if we change the date to the 1st of January, and by the way, you're able to do this, add a free choice delivery after it's done. So today is the 14th as I record this video, but let's say the end date is the 10th. We observed, our operation observed that this was when the salt was gone. And as we save that, you can now see that the dates were changed, the 1st to the 10th, and the status is also complete. And this tells us that weight and costs have been distributed to the lots. So this is as simple as it gets, right? If we have another one, this one was the 10th to the 23rd. Again, a salt block of 20 pounds because this is my next salt block we added. You can now see that we have back-to-back a completed one and now the pending one that was fed after that first one that's complete. So this, like I said, this will automatically process by the system. So for this pending one, you don't need to edit this once the 23rd is met. That will just happen. This was just an example to show you that if you do choose an end date that's in the past, it'll automatically apply. And so just to mention that this does impact all reporting within the system that already reports on commodities. So that's going to be your commodity profit. So let's just jump over to it. Commodity profit will show you salt block as they were used. So this poundage is based on not only now the batches that you might have fed these commodities, but also these free choice deliveries. Will also impact the feedlot summary report and the invoice that can be generated from that. It'll impact the lot pounds fed report. So if we can look here, this guy, this would have been, I think this was one of the lots that was in that pen that consumed that salt. And here is kind of the result. Now this is all test data, but this can show you that I think here is where the salt was added. And finally, the important part is that a lot that would be closed out is also impacted by this. So that's not complicated, but in the sense that if today you ship a lot and the salt, the free choice delivery, let's call it that, is not complete yet, the end date hasn't been met, it does mean that if you observe the closeout today of that lot, it isn't truly accurate yet until that free choice delivery is completed. So you could see like a drift of the closeout numbers if you have a significant free choice delivery that's not yet complete. So it's just something to keep in mind as you close out lots and observe data. The same would be true for invoicing. If you invoice before something's free choice delivery is complete, that will not appear on the invoice yet. So you'll just have to keep that in mind. It will then, once it completes, it will show up on the invoice if you're invoicing within the date range of that end date. So it really all hinges on the end date. And that is how you do a free choice delivery in AgResult.